Brett Musburger. No real global significance here this afternoon in this one, but a pretty darn good neighborhood war.
It will be.
Let's start with the defense of Alabama.
Well, Shannon Brown, the big defensive tackle, leads a real good defensive football team here at Alabama. Actually, I think they're better than their coaches do. They're #1 in the conference, #3 in the country, but their coaches are not satisfied. I was very impressed with them.
Now, on the other side of the ball, folks, there's a blue chip running back from LSU. We've been waiting all season to take a look at him.
Kevin Falk. Look at the graphic last week, and you know, early in the season he ran for 171 yards. He's a freshman, a true freshman with tremendous credentials, highly recruited guy, and he's one of the few guys that's actually better than he was stated to be. I'm very impressed with him.
So we should have a low-scoring, tough defensive game. Gene Stallings, the head coach of the Tide. We'll be right back with the opening kickoff. The legend of the Bear here in Tuscaloosa, but Jack Arute, some uneasy fans around this city right now.
Well, Brent, no question about it. Usually you come down here and they're talking either about what bowl game they're going to go to or the upcoming Auburn-Alabama contest. This year, all they want to talk about away from the stadium is the probation, 2 years for Alabama, the lack of a bowl game this year, and the cut down in scholarships that totals almost 25. Now, here's what's happened, though. Ironically, the University of Alabama is going to appeal the process, and the appeal will be heard on the Thursday before the final game, the Auburn-Alabama contest. You walk around here, and the whole campus seems flat. They don't want to talk about football. They want to talk about the decision that would come from Kansas on Thursday.
And Jack, Alabama goes on the offense. That's the part of the ball that has struggled. And here's a young man from LSU, Wade Ritchie. He handles the kickoffs. We watched him down on the field a short time ago. What a leg he has got. With a slight breeze at his back, the wind blows off the tee. LSU winning the opening toss and electing to defer, as most of the teams do. They will have the breeze at their back here in the opening quarter. Back deep for the Crimson Tide. Marcel West is #1, and Michael Fagan is number 26. He's on the right-hand side of your screen. The great veteran Jimmy Hucker is your referee here today, and I mean, Richie lowers the boom, folks. This one is coming out on the 20-yard line. As expected, Brian Bergdorf will start this game for Alabama, with Freddie Kitchens coming on in relief. Now, they have not had a 100-yard runner yet this year in a Crimson Tide game. It is hard to believe, but they do have a big-time flanker in number 80, coach Toderick Malone.
And they plan to try to get him the ball deep today on a couple special play-action passes, Brent.
The I formation, and Bergdorf trying to split the backs. Going to run the option, and this is Riddle, Dennis Riddle, and he is hit first by Alan Stansberry, the linebacker, on that side. So let's continue our Chili's lineups here, and we take a look at the offensive line for the Crimson Tide and what they present in front of Bergdorf and Dennis Riddle and Eddie Sissom as the fullback. How about Maurice Belser, the guard, coach?
Well, he's the most experienced starter. He started all 12 games last year, 7 starts this year. He has to come up with a big ball game because he's playing on Anthony McFarland, a real good defensive tackle.
Well, here it is 2nd and 7, and so Riddle, who is averaging 3.6 yards a pop, got only 3 that time for the Tide on first down. This time they present a wing look. 6 defensive linemen. Bergdorf is cut down beautifully by Gabe Northern. Number 88 is a big-time defensive end. 6'3", 239, a senior out of Baton Rouge, and this fella can bring it.
A senior with 19 sacks in his career already, Brent, and you nicely stated, he is a big-time player. He's a dominating guy, and Joel Holliday, the left tackle for Alabama, is going to have his hands full without any help.
Well, again, it's a slow start now. 3rd and 7. Bergdorf eyeing perhaps his first passing situation. 4-man rush. They'll flare it out in the flat. And that is using the fullback. That is Eddie Sissom. Coming out, Denard Walker, the cornerback on that side, coming up to make the stop. And there is Torrey James, the other corner, number 8, Dick.
He, too, is the most experienced player on the defense. 24 starts coming into the ball game, 11 pass interceptions. He's the stabilizing guy in that young secondary.
Well, they get just enough for the first down. The ball just beyond the 30-yard line. 1st and 10, Crimson Tide. Bergdorf's a senior out of Cedartown, Georgia. And again, that option. Look, Northern hits the quarterback, and they put it in Little's hands. And Little brings it out to the 38, and Anthony McFarland, the defensive tackle. How about our victor keys here, Coach?
Well, Brent, I feel number one, Alabama has to get the running game going. They have not run the ball well this year. To win today, they have to run it well. They have to eliminate the quarterback sack problem. They've been getting too much pressure on him, and they have to really come up with some big plays in the special teams, especially the coverage teams. LSU has great return teams.
It is 2nd and a long 2 for Gene Stallings and the Tide right now. Obviously, the fullback figures prominently. Northern jumps back onside now, and here comes the blitz. Riddle, the ball carrier, and he is stopped very close at the first down. Talby Crawford, the strong safety, number 9, comes up to force on the run.
Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator, said his main concern today was keeping those 2 big defensive ends, Gilliard and Northern, off his quarterback. They are really good. You've already called their names a couple times. There's Gilliard, 88, moving a little bit early. You'll notice that Bergdorf is audibling there.
Well, they've come back up to the line now on 3rd and short, and there is the first down.
Fumble!
And LSU pounces on it. The strong safety, Crawford, wraps it up. The first turnover of the game.
Just a good isolation play, handed off deep, so you normally get a lot of time to secure the football. He's got it in one arm, and there it gets knocked out right there by Clarence Lenton, number 18, the safety, a hard-hitting safety. He's got to protect that ball with both hands in that intense running area.
Now a look at Kevin Falk. He'll be a lone setback. LSU shorthanded. There was movement in the middle of the defense as they came pounding across that time.
Flags are down.
Jimmy Harper's umpire is big Mike Williams down there in the middle of it. They're the 2 key officials in football, and Jamie Howard, the senior quarterback.
He has really improved this year.
It goes against LSU now. Our Chili's backs and receivers, and there's Falk. First and 15 after the penalty. And Howard, he's forced out of the pocket, hit on the release, and it is incomplete. And that was Darrell Blackburn, the defensive end. He's a junior out of Huntsville, Alabama, and he was given a hard chase.
This defense can really pressure you, and it's led by Shannon Brown as number 75. He is a dandy. When he is healthy, he's a dominating football player.
Marcus Carmouche, number 50, brings the offensive line up to the line. He'll call the line blocking. Jamie Howard crouches down low behind him, and again a big-time rush. And again it was Blackburn who is causing the left tackle, Dick, all kinds of trouble.
Well, he came into the ballgame with 7 sacks, 13 quarterback pressures, and his teammate over there, Chris Hood, just a young guy that they say is one of the most talented players, and they were vacillating whether to start him or Kendrick Burton in the defensive line. They're putting him here in the first series, and he comes up with some good pressure.
Now this is 3rd and long as we take a look at Mark King. He's the left guard. One of the things to keep in mind about Kevin Falk, he hasn't yet learned how to pick up the defensive lineman who comes through or the blitzer. He has to work on that part of his game, and Howard didn't get much help there in the backfield. Now 3rd and 24. This time it is complete. He hits number 6, Shedrick Wilson, who is the captain of LSU, lone captain, a big honor for him this year. Far short of the first down, ball near midfield, and LSU will punt.
Bill Oliver, defensive coordinator, has to be pleased with that series. turnover by the offense. The defense goes in there and shuts them out, and they get the ball back. Not good field position, but they do get the ball back. No points given up.
Excellent punter, Chad Kessler. Big time average, almost 49 yards a punt.
Kicks it a little too far, Brent. Of course, he's got a nice wind behind him as well, doesn't he?
John Saunders, how about an Arkansas update? All right, John, the Crimson Tide brings it up for their second series. They fumbled, but LSU could not capitalize. The blitz is picked up beautifully. They have changed running backs, and that's Curtis Alexander, whom Gene Stallings wanted to take a look at today. That's his first carry into the arms of the talented freshman McFarland.
He's only carried the ball 6 times coming into the ball game. He's had ankle problems all year, Brent, so they haven't really been able to use him. But he had good credentials coming out of high school. He's a sophomore here. He played a little bit last year, but they're trying to get that running game going.
Second down and 9, and it is still definitely not going. Here they come again. Bergdorf, and he delivers it beautifully off the blitz to Tony Johnson, the tight end, who is run out of bounds by Torrey James. That's a 20-yard gain as they burn the blitz.
LSU is not a big blitzing team. They change up and bring the blitz. The tight end right over here comes in on the crossing pattern, gets underneath the blitz. They pick it up. Center comes out, picks up the blitzer. Bergdorf steps up inside the pocket nicely, finds the receiver. Obviously a blow in coverage. Now in a man-to-man blitz situation, someone should be locked onto him. In that situation, it should have been the strong safety.
John Causey, the center.
Flea
flicker back. Bergdorf's hit, fumble! And hustling over was Curtis Alexander, may have saved it. Yes, it is recovered as Torrey James came off the corner. He's got the ball in his hands.
Torrey James is the cornerback with 2 tight ends. The corner is lined up tight on that tight end, and they bring him. Real good call. They're going to go for the big play deep here. They throw it back to him. He keeps coming. He finds the quarterback with the ball. It's on the ground. They're fortunate to get it back. Coach Tornaro's happy about that one.
Second down and 15. Ball was down on the recovery. Pressure, throw it away. They were trying to set a tight end screen. Denard Walker, the corner, was coming off the other side, and Dick, suddenly LSU has stepped out of its personality, and this has thrown Alabama off here early.
Yeah, they did not anticipate them blitzing much, Brent, because they really haven't done it. They like to keep a free safety back in there. When you start blitzing people, you have to bring your free safety up to cover backs out of the backfield. Obviously, a total change in approach to playing defense.
3rd and 15 for Bergdorf and the Tide. The ball on Alabama's 35. Low-scoring defensive tussle shaping up here. Bergdorf sacked and down at the 31-yard line as they collapse on him again. And DiNardo very happy with the early going. James Gilliard, the left defensive end, all over him that time. And Stallings, again, unhappy with his offense.
You can see by this graphic, they've had a hard time scoring, punting many more times than scoring. And the reason we made this graphic up is in the last few weeks, we've been presenting offensive teams that have scored touchdowns twice as many times as they've punted. Obviously here, they're not doing it.
Now Hayden Stockton will punt the ball. Eddie Kennison, a big-time return man, will let this one roll out of bounds at the 35-yard line, where it will be LSU ball. Scoreless first quarter here in Tuscaloosa. Just what you expected, right, folks? Tough defensive battle. LSU brings it up to the line. First down with the ball at the 35-yard line. That's Chris Hill, the tight end, in motion. Jamie Howard hands to Falk, and Falk, with a penalty flag, reaches the 40-yard line. This one apparently going against Bama.
At the snap, we have the defense violation of the neutral zone. Be a 5-yard penalty. Replace the down.
That win by Arkansas wraps up the West. So Coach Ford will take the Razorbacks into Atlanta for the SEC championship game, and congratulations to the Razorbacks. After the penalty, it is 1st and 5. Bama is sluggish. Fourth. Bowden, who is checked in, makes the stop on Folk, and you've talked a lot about Brown already, Coach.
Well, the other guys have already been a factor in there. Blackburn, you've mentioned his name twice already. Good pressure guy, but Brown, when healthy, he can dominate the inside. Now, LSU is hoping very much they don't flop him over on their left guard because he isn't quite as physical. And right now, that's exactly where he's lined up.
Now it is Moore who is checked into that defensive line. They have about 9 talented defensive linemen here at Alabama, the most we've seen this year. Howard, wide open is Wilson. John Saunders, how about Kansas State? Thank you, John. Here we have had a change at center, and I'm left to believe that there might be an injury. Todd McClure, number 72, checks in from the sideline. There's his first snap. There's a penalty flag down. Wilson again. That would be a 1st down at the 31-yard line, but there is a penalty.
Alabama has had penalty problems. They've had 2 games with over 15 penalties this year, Brent.
We have the defensive team lined up in the neutral zone. The penalty is declined.
And they accept a 24-yard pass play from Howard to Wilson. Wilson, the senior from Thomasville, Georgia, and he is getting open against this defensive backfield, Coach.
Well, Kevin Jackson, the safety, has 4 pass interceptions. They better not get the ball too close to him.
Let's correct that gain on that as Carmouche returns. It is a 14-yard gain to the 31-yard line. So LSU mounting a drive. Howard on a short drop, and that one should have been caught by Kennison. Right through his hands.
Right through his hands. And when he catches those short ones, he can really go. And for them to be successful today, they've got to get big plays out of Wilson and Kennison, their 2 wide receivers. They can really run. They have to force responsibility from a defensive standpoint onto the winning Alabama quarterback. If they can do that, that means they're shutting down the running game. And they must end up plus in turnovers. They're already +1.
First season after doing some good things at Vanderbilt. Howard under pressure throws incomplete. Kennison, and I believe, I thought I saw some yellow down there, but I did not.
Well, Maurice Watts, the offensive coordinator at LSU, said the one thing they wanted to do today is they wanted to throw about 60% of the time on 1st down and mix it up and keep the Bama defense off balance, and also try to keep out of that 3rd and real long situation.
The word from the sideline is that Carmouche's problem was equipment. That's why he went over to the sideline. There was no injury involved. Now the shotgun look, and Carmouche, and now you can see the movement over there on the offensive line.
Alabama has 8 defensive linemen that they can rotate through the ball game. That's a real advantage in depth.
Before the ball is snapped, we have a false start, offensive line.
Northwestern striking first against Penn State, and Stanford up a field goal on SC. So the battle for the Rose Bowl shaping up in the Midwest and out west. Let's make it 3rd now and 15 for LSU. Here's a 3rd and 15. Howard from the shotgun, and another dropped pass. They got the dropsies right now, and there is a penalty flag.
Well, Kevin Falk coming out of the backfield is not a real experienced receiver.
For the snap, we have a false start, movement of the offensive line.
Coach, this one's a little ugly.
So far it is. Penalties by both teams, drop passes, fumbles.
It's the Harper crew we told you about earlier.
Getting back to Kevin Falk, he just hasn't had much experience catching the ball out of the backfield, and that's a big part of Morris Watt's game plan today, to get him the ball not only as a runner but out of the backfield as a receiver.
Now it is 3rd and 20. Good job by the offensive line, allows Howard to go deep, and incomplete. And guess what's on the far side, folks? Another yellow hanky over there about the 45-yard line.
LSU using their offensive backs to help the tackles block on the defensive ends. That time, one of the running backs did a real nice job of helping the offensive right tackle prevent a sack.
We have illegal formation on the offensive team. The offensive linemen are not allowed to move. Penalty is required.
I believe DiNardo said to pooch it.
Well, LSU came in the ball game with 9 penalties. They're going to have that many in the first half. They don't watch out.
So Chad Kessler to pooch this one if we read his lips right.
Yeah, well,
he
this
won't
guy,
be looking for a 44.9 on this baby.
He better not. The coach will get after him.
Townsend, the defensive back. Alabama has not done a good job on punt returns. They return Townsend. He won't be happy. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. Scoreless first quarter in Tuscaloosa. There's quite a controversy involving the assistants here at Alabama. On the lower left right there is Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator. Paul Feinbaum writing in the Birmingham Post yesterday, and he's been a superb reporter through the years. Says that offensive coordinator and head coach are not on the same wavelength down here at Tuscaloosa this year. First down and 10 now. Bama has stalled on the attack. Bergdorf is still the quarterback. We expect to see Freddie Kitchens run the option again, and Alexander is upended by Linton, the free safety.
Using the option as much as they already have here in their first half is a little bit of a change of personality. They haven't run the option that much. They really must believe that they can get the defense sealed off inside and get that ball pitched into the perimeter. Bergdorf himself, believe it or not, is a 4.5 40 guy. He says he can beat both the starting running backs in a 40-yard dash.
Alabama has yet to penetrate LSU territory here offensively. Another blitz look. Strong rush. And it'll be 3rd down.
He went to throw that ball, then tried to prevent the throw, but he was too far along in the action, and the ball came off his hand.
John Saunders, how about the Wildcats?
Shame. Boy, what a shame that is. Boy, they don't have much to back him up with either.
Bergdorf, right side, throws incomplete down the sideline, and Anthony McFarland was giving chase. He's the 300-pound freshman out of New Orleans, and one of the bright young defensive linemen over here at LSU.
He really is, and as you study him play as a true freshman, he has the reactions of a senior, the intensity of a senior. He has a great understanding for the position already, and they also use him as fullback in the goal line.
Dick, let's see if Kennison can light a fire here for the Tigers. He's back to return.
They're going to try to punt away from him, which they did. Beautiful punt.
And he makes the catch at the 35-yard line. 5 minutes left. A scoreless first quarter in Tuscaloosa. CFA College Football on ABC, brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. De Beers, a diamond is forever. The document company Xerox, a simpler way to do good work. And Chili's Grill and Bar, where steak lovers go for great grilled steaks. Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Lovely campus down here. Scoreless first quarter, 5 minutes to go. Jamie Howard and the Tigers. The talented Kevin Falk is the running back. They want to throw more on first down, but this time they handed the ball, and Walters ate up Falk. Walters is playing with a broken hand. You'll probably see that it is heavily wrapped, the right hand, but he's playing despite that broken hand.
He has 3 screws in that right thumb. I walked off the practice field with him on Thursday, and he was very confident he could play. He's the leader of the defense, too, in terms of being able to get everybody in the right position with all the calls on the line of scrimmage. Very important from a mental standpoint.
4-yard loss on the first down, now on 2nd and 14. And Howard has to throw this one away. And he is down. Remember, he already was playing with an injured shoulder. And this, it looks like it's a little bit lower on the arm. Let's see what happened here.
The offensive line, freeze it right there. The offensive line did not pick up the cross charge of the tackles. Therefore, the tackle's getting right up inside. Here he comes right on Matt Parker right after him. See, offensive line has got to switch and pick up that man. Take another look at it. He makes a nice pop. Here comes old 98 Matt Parker. 300 pounds of him. Pow.
Now that would put the freshman Herbert Tyler in at quarterback, and he opens up with the quarterback draw. Ambushes Alabama with that call. They don't have to watch for that as much with Jamie Howard, but Tyler more of a runner. He's a 5'10" freshman out of New Orleans.
And he started last week's ball game and played well. Actually, it's not last week's, their last game, because they had a bye, but he played well against North Texas University. Did a good job. Those are that 1-game stat. He is quick, as he demonstrated right there on the quarterback draw.
So Bama's defense will be looking at more of a running threat when he gets back. And we can see Townsend set to return this punt by Chad Kessler, who can turn it loose here with the wind at his back. Does just get off a boomer under pressure. What a good-looking punter. Wow.
Oh, very close to knocking that one back.
54 yards by Mr. Kessler. Planet Hollywood comes home all tonight on ABC. Well, this is Alabama's 4th drive of the game, as we see Howard receiving some medical attention on the LSU sideline. For Alabama, all 4 of their drives have started at the 20-yard line. They have only 41 yards of offense, and now they come back with their starting running back, Dennis Riddle. And John Saunders, what's up on the West Coast? John, thank you very much. Bergdorf hands off to the fullback, and Sissom rumbles with the best offensive play of the game for Bama to the 47-yard line. Very good-looking run by Sissom.
Well, they just came off man-to-man blocking on that one, too. The guard centers did a nice job of zone blocking and picked up and just cut back inside. Did a real nice job on it.
19-yard run. Terrific effort by Sissom. Ball to the 47-yard line where it's first down. Riddle for about a yard, and Jack Arute, I see Howard throwing down there on the sideline. You're right next to him. What's the status?
Well, I can show you exactly. The right shoulder over on his side, talking to the athletic trainer, he fell on that shoulder hard. They didn't apply ice, they didn't apply heat, they didn't do anything other than massage it out. According to the trainer, he said, just got to let it settle down, and he's cleared to go back in.
And of course, he has been injured in that throwing shoulder earlier. Good story. We will tell you more about it. He's a pitcher, or he was in the Braves organization for a couple of years. And now Bama with a completed pass to Curtis Brown.
They're starting to mix it up. They run the outside play. They run the belly play up inside. Now they run the quick pass. Actually, a little type of a one-man quick screen out to the left and starting to move the ball a little bit, Brent.
They have crossed midfield. And they're at the LSU 46-yard line with Brown going out to the far side. Riddle and Sissom split in the backfield. They need 3 yards for the first down, and they don't get it. That's Chad Key, number 19.
She's just under too much pressure. Coming into the ball game, they've been sacked 25 times. I don't know how many times you've been pressured, but either you got to go to a 3-step drop and get rid of the ball quickly, or when you get to the 5-step drop and going to throw the ball, you better get better pass protection.
So Stockton is back again. He'll try to keep it away from Kennison, and so far he's done a good job.
That's a nice high punt.
At the 11-yard line.
Every Eagle game this year, and it's really in person, all the home games as well, and they have really improved, and they're playing much better defense. So I think this is going to be a good football game.
Jamie Howard returns. A 2 tight end look. Falk is very deep in that backfield. Howard on first down. Wilson makes a leaping catch on that far side. Wonderful catch by Shedrick.
Well, they came in with 43 balls, and that demonstrates why he has that many. When he is covered, he has the ability to go up and take the ball away from the defender. That was excellent coverage. He gets up there. He's way up. Great timing to get up in there and take that ball out of the air. Excellent job. To the right side of your screen, way up over that defender, Deshae Townsend, number 2.
21 yards, 4 catches for 58 yards. The captain of the Tigers off to a good start here in the first half. We're scoreless. Falk picks up the rush man that time, and they go back to their big weapon. Out of bounds at the 41-yard line. That's Fernando Bryant, the freshman cornerback, number 25.
LSU has given these people trouble here. The last couple of times they've been here, they've won them both. Normally you win at home and lose on the road. These guys switch it around. But these 2 wide receivers, Shedrick Wilson and Eddie Kennison, can take the short pass and go the distance with them. They have good speed, good running ability. You have to come to balance and get your arms wrapped around them properly if you're going to tackle them.
Kennison goes in motion away from the freshman. That'll put him in the slot over on the left-hand side. They'll run Falk in that direction, and Blackburn's all over him. Nobody blocked the right defensive end that time, Coach.
Well, they tried to block him, but they're trying to hook block him, and he's so powerful. He took the tackle and pushed him back into the backfield. Therefore, the running back had no room to turn up. They might try to run back underneath it, get the defense stretched, then cut back underneath him in a little different type of play. They're certainly not going to go outside.
On 3rd and 1.
Well, I'd run the football. I would run it.
Well, we'll see what they do in the second quarter. And by the way he's carrying that right arm, that's still a little injured, isn't it? We'll be right back. For 2 summers, Howard pitched in the Atlanta Braves organization. A fastball up into the 90s. This last summer, he stayed in Baton Rouge, worked out in the weight room. The coaches feel that's the reason why he was able to turn this season around as far as football is concerned. They believe that he was coming in to play football with a tired arm. The Braves, of course, are hoping that he concentrates on baseball, but for the time being, they are not paying his scholarship at LSU. He's without a scholarship right now. And here he is, determined young man, handing off to the talented freshman Falk on a 3rd down run to open up the second quarter with Dwayne Rudd, the leading tackler for the Crimson Tide, number 87 from that linebacking spot, moving in to plug the hole.
The right side of the offensive line, Alan Faneka and Ben Bordelon, came off pretty well. And the right side, from what the coaches have told us, is the strongest side. So I think through the ball game in those critical run situations, we'll see him emphasizing running the ball up behind those 2 guys to the right side.
The chains will be brought out. This is very close. Howard in that first quarter completed 5 passes, all 5 to Wilson. And they'll have to punt the ball.
Chad Kelser, the punter, if he hits it like he has been hitting it, right now he has the wind to his back.
The wind, Dick, is coming
the other way.
right at him.
Okay. Excuse me.
Townsend, the defensive back. They go after this one.
They feel they can block one on him, and they've been trying.
Townsend picks it up and goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
Looking at the first quarter numbers, pretty even all the way. LSU not running the ball very much, just 5 yards, as you can see there, to Alabama's 41. But total yards, pretty even. The turnover right here by Alabama, no points for LSU. Third down conversions have not been very good. We've had one third down conversion between both teams.
Brian Bergdorf here on first down off a play fake. On the way down,
Intercepted.
it's intercepted. It's picked off by Linton, the free safety. Bergdorf going down, elected to throw it anyway, and Linton picked it.
Wow. Very, very poor decision. Under severe duress. Going down, throwing the ball in the middle, throwing late. An experienced quarterback should not make this mistake. Gaillard forced him back up to the inside. They knocked him down right there. Should not have thrown that football, forcing the ball to Curtis Brown, number 85, result interception.
Can LSU take advantage? The ball is on the Bama 36-yard line. Howard this time steps up against the pressure. Receivers are covered, and he scrambles to the 32-yard line, and Rudd is there defensively, but he ran for about 5 yards.
What a difference a year makes. You talked about him laying off baseball. You know, I think, too, the switching offense is switching quarterback coaches. Then Morris Watts coaching the end of this year. This year, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Last year, 5 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Big change. Combination, not playing baseball, emphasizing, and new coaching.
There's Morris watching and calling the plays for LSU. Good protection. Stands tall. Fires again to Wilson. And Wilson is having a big-time day. They're inside the Bama 20-yard line.
They gave him time. There's a nice throwing lane right down the middle. That zone pattern, that deep, takes a little while to get in there. And you can see that Shedrick Wilson is down on the ground, rubbing his knee right now. But good protection. He gets back, nice action. Swinging the back out of the backfield. The tackles do a nice job of taking the rushers outside. There's a very good throwing lane right in front of him. To the left of your screen, you see the zone. Catches the football, twisted his leg a little.
Kevin Jackson, the strong safety, making the stop on Shedrick.
Shedrick wants to get off in his own power. Good student, this young man. Wants to go to law school. Probably, from the looks of him here today, he's probably going to play a little football in the National Football League. He's a good football player, Brent.
Yeah, Dickey's caught 6 passes for 81 yards, and that's Howard's passing day right now.
I'd say that the defensive coordinator, Bill Oliver, might start kicking the coverage over to him and go single on the other guy, Andy Kennison. Of course, Kennison is so fast, you're a little bit concerned about doing that. But you got to do something.
First down, Dick, for the Tigers inside the 20-yard line. They show blitz as they step into the gap. They back it back out, and here comes Falk. Falk got the corner turn. Falk still going before Jackson could finally stop him, but he's inside the 10-yard line.
They did a real good job with a counter play that time. They pulled the big offensive right guard, Alan Faneka, right here, and he gets a good kick block right there, and they bring the wing to lead the play. The counter to the right freezes the back. Now you get the good kick, bang, Rice block right there by Faneka. Gets outside, now just good running ability, gets it up inside.
And now at 1st and goal LSU really could use a fullback down here now, couldn't they, Coach?
They don't even have one on the roster.
Wow, first down, here they come. They knew Falk was going to get the call. You don't have a lead blocker, no one to take on that first wave, and it's tough no matter how good you are.
And they'd like to have one. They just had, the staff prior hadn't recruited one, so they used 2 tight ends and that kind of stuff, but you'll see the pressure come off the corner, no back in the backfield to pick him up. That's the outside safety coming around there to get him. Would be nice to have that guy. You want to volunteer?
No, thank you. The one play that DiNardo might think about using right now is that naked bootleg, the way Bama presses up front down here by the goal line. They were coming hard after Falk.
This defense, as you saw by the graphic a couple snaps ago, has been very good in the red zone.
Short drop. Kinnison can't get a grab. It's third down, but there is a penalty flag. For you folks who have come back, we had a pass interference call against Townsend, which gave LSU a 1st and goal. They have failed to score on 2 plays. They've called a timeout. We're going to take a break. When you come back, it'll be 3rd and goal for LSU. Dick, if you don't have a fullback, recruit one for the defensive line.
Here he is at 6'1", 300 pounds. The offensive line does a good job of getting him moved off, and then he gets inside and he seals it off. Following him through the hole, he's looking for a red jersey. Now he finds one, and he crushes it just enough to get the ball to the 1-yard line.
Then on the next play, it was the Alabama defense, Kevin Jackson and Fernando Bryant, that pressed. And it was after the interception. It is now 3rd and goal. Kendall Cleveland is number 32. He's checked into the backfield. Howard's going to throw. It was batted down by the youngster that time. Hood, the redshirt freshman, was able to get a paw on it.
He really got up there, too, Brent, and good timing. I mean, but he just leaped out of that defensive end position. 3-step drop, quick throw, flat trajectory, good rhythm by a defensive lineman. He gets his hands up. Here he is right here. He'll get up now. They should try to block him lower. Now look at him leap. Nice job.
Andre LaFleur in a bid to put the Tigers up by a field goal. A 20-yarder. He's got it. LSU on a 20-yard field goal by LaFleur goes up 3-0. But Stallings is happy to have held off that touchdown. LSU turns an interception into a field goal, but Stallings' defense 3 times holds inside the 5-yard line. And now the Tigers will kick it off again with Ritchie. West and Fagan are back deep for the Tide.
Wow.
What a leg Ritchie has. That's into the breeze, folks.
That's into it.
That's a big-time kick right there.
And it was down low, and he didn't allow it to get up in there. That field goal was partially blocked. Shannon Brown right here gets in this gap, and he tips it. They have a great history of blocking PATs, field goals, and punts here at Alabama under Gene Stallings.
And Shannon Brown, as we have a change at quarterbacks, the crowd is happy. Freddie Kitchens, number 9, checks in.
Until he throws an interception, then they won't be happy with him either.
So here's the sophomore from Alabama, 6'2", his first series. And Riddle, Dennis Riddle, the ball carrier. And guess who made the stop, folks? Anthony McFarland, number 94, doing it both ways down there for LSU.
Defensive coordinator Carl Reese said those down foremen, we're going to slant those guys, and maybe they're getting a little jump in the direction, playing field position and playing formation tendency, and slant those tackles in the direction they think the ball's going, giving them a little jump.
I can see why Tide fans are upset with this offense. Incomplete. Jack Arute.
Well, Brent, in a word, so far what we've seen with the offense, it's kind of like the bar saying, go ugly early. You know, it's the way it's been. Homer Smith, the guru of offenses, they say, though, that they're very complex to assimilate. And, in fact, 3 weeks into the game season, The head coach, Gene Stallings, said, I'm going to get more involved in the offense. You alluded to the brewing brouhaha between the head coach and the assistant. Well, it hasn't calmed down, and people have taken sides. Now, Homer Smith has said one of the reasons is you need 20 hours. You're restricted with players now for 20 hours, but everybody has that problem, don't they, Coach?
Yeah, they do.
3rd down and 6. Time remaining in the 2nd quarter, and the whistle.
I watched Freddie pitching on the practice field on Thursday, and he has a very, very strong arm. He can really fire it.
Before the snap, we have illegal movement, offensive line.
Talking about their offense, we can evaluate the possessions with this graphic. 6 plays, fumble, 5 plays, punt. They haven't done anything. I mean, it's hard to be.
We didn't need that graphic to evaluate this offense. Excuse me. 3rd down.
Hey, our producer's working down there, you know.
Yeah. 3rd down and 11. Now Kitchens will try to get it going. Through behind the receiver. There will be some uneasy folks in Tuscaloosa.
I know that Gene Stallings has gotten more active in the offense. He normally works equal on both sides, and Monday they put the game plans in. He sits in with both coaches offensively and defensively. Here he's discussing the pass pattern with Kitchens, and
now Kennison. See if he can get something going. They have really punted away from him beautifully, and they continue to. However, LSU will be playing with half the field.
Many times when you try to punt away from a real good punt returner, it really takes off the ability of the punter to really hit the football and hit it accurately.
All tomorrow here on ABC. LSU leads by a field goal. Jamie Howard, injured shoulder and all, brings the Tigers up to the line. Kennison's the motion man, puts him into the slot, under pressure,
strong safety.
And down he goes with Dwayne Rudd, number 87, coming with safety Kevin Jackson.
Well, Gene Stallings told me yesterday they were going to run an occasional strong safety blitz. That was a good time to call it. They brought Jackson right off the corner. They brought motion to him. He had no way or nowhere to go.
8-yard loss. Howard takes on that sack. Makes it 2nd down and 18. It's uphill in this series now for the Tigers.
It's tough enough to convert, you know, a 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 4, but when you're up 2nd and 18, you got to move it up there to get it in that 3rd and 3 situation if you can.
Fought. Gets away from the first tackler and then is outnumbered, and again it is Mr. Rudd, 6'2", 232, sophomore, out of Batesville, Mississippi.
Leading tackler on the team, and this guy can run 4.5 40. And you already gave his size. He can really fly. The other guy, his other teammate, the other outside backer, Ralph Staten, also runs a 4.5 40. These kids can really fly. Doing a real good job of not letting Kevin Falk get upfield. They're keeping him moving laterally so that pursuit can make the play.
3rd and 18 against a big-time defensive line. Bama puts one backer into the gap, rush 4. Going to set the screen. Now they're going to go downfield.
They just threw that one away.
It's punt time for the Tigers. And let's see if Alabama can perhaps get a hold of a Kessler punt. They have been closer and closer, and the way it looks on their offense, they're going to need a special team play to ignite the Crimson Tide.
Coming in here and looking at these game tapes, the defense really impressed me, but the defensive coaches are still not satisfied with the way the defensive team has played this year. That one Tennessee game setback has really distorted their opinion of their own defense.
See if they get close now.
That's a return type ball.
On the 25, Townsend. And he's out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. The Tide is not rolling yet. A few years from now, you won't recognize that side of the stadium here in Tuscaloosa. They're going to add 13,000 seats. Meanwhile, Northwestern doing the job, and so too is Stanford. Michigan State leading Michigan. And the big one in the Big East, Syracuse up on Virginia Tech. Only 58 against Northern Illinois. How come Coach Spurrier called the dogs off?
They might be number one, huh?
First down and 10. Could be, Coach. So they run Little here on first down into the arms of Chuck Wiley, number 55.
This down four of Gilliard, Wiley, McFarland, and Northern have to play almost every snap defensively. Now that might wear them down in the fourth quarter in comparison to Alabama rotating guys in every series. That's a big advantage for the home team.
Second down and 6. Run the sweep, but it won't go because of Alan Stansbury, the junior out of Baton Rouge.
See, tight end Patrick Hape was trying to get him knocked off the ball, but Stansbury wouldn't allow it. He kept the play being stretched, made him bow back, had the speed to come off the block, then go ahead and make the play. Very good outside linebacker play by Alan Stansbury. Coach Stallings a little frustrated, and when he gets mad, everybody knows it.
3 wide receivers. Kitchens now throws to wide open Curtis Brown, who fumbled it. LSU Stansbury scooped it up. The second Bama turnover here in the first half.
You know, I don't know why it took him so long to find the guy open. They were open from the start to the left side of the screen. Maybe the rush, he couldn't see it. That's possibly it. They were open the whole time. He had poise to step up inside the pocket. Now he goes back to the base part of the pattern and gets him the ball. But now Curtis Brown, 85, can't hang on to it.
It was stripped by Crawford. The LSU offense, there's no question there was a hand reaches in here, Dick.
Curtis Brown gets it locked around. Now see, the ball's out away from his body right there. There comes the hand right there. That's Talvey Crawford that strips it, the strong safety. Three turnovers.
So 3 turnovers already. That's right. There was a fumble, wasn't there? Caught, cannot get away from 95, Mr. Moore.
They just keep rotating those young defensive linemen in there. This is going to be an outstanding defensive football team next year. There aren't many seniors on it. But here he is right in the middle of your screen. Boom, he takes him on, shucks him, throws him, makes the play. Excellent defensive line play. He didn't need any help.
They better be a good defense with the offense we're looking at here. Second down at 12. To set the screen again, and it is disrupted, so he goes deep down the right, intercepted at the 10-yard line, picked off by Kevin Jackson, and for Jackson, that's his 5th interception of the season. He had 3 in one game against Georgia.
Came in here tied for the lead in the SEC with those receptions, Brent. That might put him in the lead. That again was a poor decision. Poor decision. Maybe he's figuring it's better than a punt. I don't know, but still a poor decision. That would have been easy to throw it away. Out here now, he's being harassed a little bit. A lot of green turf out in front of him. Just throw it in the direction of the receiver. Trying too hard to make something happen. Bill Oliver's defensive teams take the ball away.
Now they will switch. Little has gone out. And again, they alternate running backs over there. Alexander had come off the sideline with Crawford coming up hard from that strong safety spot on first down.
Coach Gennarello's going going to run a good program. That was the first time I really had the opportunity to visit with him was last night, Brandon. You too. We both came away impressed. He's an intense guy. It'll be a disciplined football team and a disciplined program. A lot of guys that don't make the trips from time to time because they're being disciplined.
There's a whistle and an indication on the far side that we've got a timeout here. Charge to Alabama. So, John, the Wildcats still ahead of Penn State. What's the situation? John, that's an amazing saga that a lot of folks and a lot of the experts really believed it was going to end today, and maybe it still will in the second half, but Penn State was posted early as a favorite in that game by a strong field goal, went up to 5. And so most of the folks who follow the numbers like that certainly thought that Penn State would come away with a win. We'll see what happens in the second half. That is a wonderful coaching job going up there. Gary Barnett in Evanston. And it's kind of fun to go around the country and have folks walk up to you, Dick, and say, hey, we hope those Wildcats do well.
Oh, I know it. Everyone's pulling for them. And, of course, you being an alum, you know, I hope they don't, you know, that score coming is going to be a distraction to you.
Listen, I got a lot of good friends at Penn State, too. All right, now second down and 12. Good fake by Kitchens. Going to go deep down the right sideline. There's tripping and incomplete. Incidental contact. The official was right there. Crawford and the wide receiver get tangled up on that side. And, you know, so far they haven't gotten the ball into Malone's hands.
And Gene can't believe it. They went deep on that one. Play action, really a good fake play action. You can see they trip each other right there.
Well, Malone was behind him, so clearly you cannot call the defensive back for interference on that play. That's a good call as Malone runs right up on him. Now, Todrick Malone, number 80, averages 18 yards a catch. Bama's got to get the ball into his hands. It's 4:30 now, and it is 3rd and 12 for Kitchens. High grab complete. And they bail themselves out with a first down to Chad Key.
Caught them in the zone defense. He came out of the slot. Real nice job by Kitchens that time of stepping right up inside and throwing it as he broke to the inside. Here he is. He'll come down and come to the inside. Again, though, they gave him time to throw the football. They picked up the stunts inside by the defensive lineman. He stepped in. He fired that fastball. He, too, has a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
So Chad Key, along with Malone and Curtis Brown, the wideouts for Bama here today. And on first down, they bring the end around. They finally get it into Malone's. And no, they did not. Kitchens kept it, and Gilliard read it perfectly.
They really did a good job of faking everybody except the defensive end. That's right. And he happens to be the most critical. Excellent poise by Kitchens. He'll put the ball in his hip now. Look at that. Oh, heck, pow. It didn't work.
He is an excellent ball handler.
Yes, excellent. And it takes a lot of poise to turn your back on, you know, on defensive people coming right at you like that. Most kids will want to rush that. He would have been better off rushing that.
2nd and 15. 3:30 first half. We've got a field goal game. LSU leading. Kitchens with time, and this is grabbed by Brown. Brown crosses midfield to the LSU 46-yard line.
He's a big, strong, get-to-the-ball type receiver. Homer Smith told me he's the kind of guy, if you get the ball anywhere close to him, he will get up and get it. He'll appear from the right side of your screen, coming back inside against the zone coverage. No one playing a man-to-man. Nice throw, pulled him right into the hole. He leaps, gets it tucked away, and heads upfield.
31 yards to the 47 officially, and now Riddle has a hole on the left side. His best-looking run of the game with James cleaning up at the 36-yard line. Close to another Bama first down.
They needed some kind of a spark, something to get them going. Maybe it is Kitchens. He gets them going. He gets that critical pass coming out of his deep in his own territory. And from that time on, they get excited. They start playing, and they need some confidence building. Nice hole, backside right there. Good hole in there to advance the football.
Now they work the toss to Riddle. Riddle on a cutback slams across the 30-yard line. And suddenly, We're seeing a different Bama offense.
Yeah, and you know, they have a fullback, Josh Niblett, a walk-on fullback. Here he's right in the middle. He'll get the kick-out block and allow the tailback to get up underneath. Bang! He gets the pads on him nicely. There goes Riddle back up in the side.
Using a tight end, basically. Niblett alternating with fullback, and here he comes again. Riddle pounds to the 17-yard line on quick hitters right now. He's just slamming into that hole.
See, and those defensive tackles have been slanting, looping to the strength of the formation a little bit. That time they caught him in the slant. They picked it up, broke backside.
LSU's defense reeling for the first time. Timeout, Tigers. Next Saturday here on ABC. Well, Bama's best looking drive of the game.
They've been very efficient down in the red zone. Their problem is they just haven't gotten in the red zone often enough, Brent.
Wiley and the defensive team ready for LSU. 1st and 10, they have driven to the Tigers' 18-yard line. Here's one of the reasons, Riddle getting outside the defense. And he's down at the 8-yard line. Crawford, the strong safety.
Patrick Hape out there at the wingback position did a nice job of getting a hook block on that linebacker. The linebacker's got to get there. Here's the block right here that really helps. Bang! See, he gets him, and he gets him hooked right there. You should never be hooked as a defensive lineman.
1:59 left in the first half. It is 1st and goal for Bama.
They're coming off the ball a lot better, Brent. Little more confidence in their play right now.
They run behind Hape, and this time Riddle is jammed up in the middle as he cut into Wiley and McFarland. Not a good place to run against LSU.
No way. Actually, I think he'd have been better off if he'd have kept stretching it outside. He comes back up. There were already yellow helmets across the line of scrimmage, and one of them was Anthony McFarland's. I'd stay away from that guy as much as I can.
Now it is 2nd down and goal, and you wonder if Homer Smith will put it in the air for Gene here. They will. Kitchens will flare it, nothing doing. 3rd and goal. And that was good coverage by Stansbury, who was outside on the flare man.
See, he was tight on him because they went to a man coverage. Throwing a flare like that against man coverage is many times an interception ball. That ball's running parallel to the line of scrimmage. The linebacker's watching the back, eye to eye, going out there. He's lucky he didn't intercept it. Intercept it.
At the very worst, Bama wants to get out of here with a tie. They don't want to turn it over if they can't get the touchdown now. 3rd and goal. They're at the LSU 9-yard line, and Kitchens hands to Riddle. Riddle's got daylight, but he can't get there. Down at the 3-yard line, touchdown saving tackle. Gilliard, one of the defenders for LSU, who was able to get back from the defensive end spot.
They came with a blitz. They pop it up inside the blitz, and he almost got there. Good change-up call. Some people will question it. I don't. I think it's a good call. Similar to the ball game on Thursday night. Last play of the game. What does Florida State do? They try the draw. They don't get it. They got a little closer than they did this time. But it's a good call down there.
While we have a moment, let's check in on some other shows on ABC. Well, Gene Stallings has sent Michael Proctor onto the field.
You got to have great confidence in him because he's a great kicker, Brent.
Yeah, he has 311 career points, Dick. And now LSU calls timeout. That'll allow me to remind everybody that at the conclusion of the game, we'll select a genuine Chevrolet Most Valuable player from each team. And today, Chevrolet has contributed almost $5.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So Proctor, excellent field goal kicker, could wind up with Doyle's record, I guess.
That's right. Only needs a few more points. And, you know, we just had a nice shot of Proctor's face. Very seldom do you see a field goal kicker smiling before he's going to kick it. After he makes it, maybe, but not before. A very confident guy, tough-minded guy, too. I think he's going to be an excellent kicker on Sunday afternoons. He's 17 for 18 inside 40 over the last 2 years. He's missed one.
Well, there's the score. Virginia on Thursday night, stunning Florida State. Dick, I think a lot of folks would be interested on that direct snap, that last play by Dunn.
Gutsy call. You know, they run the draw, but since there's no quarterback to hand it to him, they have to snap it right to him. And you and I saw him run that a couple weeks ago efficiently. He just inches short. Actually stumbled going in.
Yeah, if he hadn't stumbled, he might have made it. And Proctor, under heavy pressure, ties the game. A 20-yard field goal. Well, let's send you to New York now and John Saunders. John? All right, LSU 3, Alabama 3. 53 ticks of the clock left here in the first half. Blue sky, broken clouds here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
LSU special teams. Opponents have only made 7 of 15. Now it's 8 of 16. That got there awfully quick.
From the 4-yard line, it's Kennison. Kennison breaks a tackle and dances his way to the 30-yard line with 45 seconds remaining.
Turns 27 yards.
With this field position, with it tied, you've got to be really careful what you do with the football. You're always talking that as a coach, you know, Brent, but sometimes, you know, we have already seen quarterbacks in panic situations throw the ball poorly and make poor decisions. Right here, be satisfied with 3-3.
And Falk to the 36-yard line with Cedric Samuel, and you can see some of those hip movements.
Yeah, he really can skip. He brings those feet up parallel and he skips around, and the last few games I watched him run, and I'll tell you, hard for one man to tackle this guy. You said you saw him down on the field. He's physically well built, huh? Stocky. Remind you of anybody?
Yeah, Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders, huh?
Yeah, in terms of a build.
He's a pretty good guy to remind you.
He doesn't have that cutback move that we saw with Barry.
Yeah, with that
State
big wide stance. Yeah.
Kennison breaks free, and he's down, and no interference is called, and I think they missed one that time. Townsend was on him.
He ran up behind him. They ran a little stop-and-go pattern on him. That was pretty good coverage, but contact was made at the end.
So coming up at the Prudential Halftime Report, John Saunders will have scores and highlights from all of today's action, interview with John Cooper, and our exclusive coaches poll. That's coming up here on ABC.
CFA College Football on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. Stay tuned for the Prudential Halftime Report after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
It's 3-3 at halftime, and perhaps it didn't matter, but it did appear to us to be pass interference on the part of Alabama. But you can see where LSU was, and remember, pass interference, they'd have had 15 yards. They certainly would not have been close enough to attempt a field goal. It's not like the NFL. They would not have gotten the ball down there after interference had it been called. It was not. But for LSU, a tremendous loss back upfield. Marcus Carmouche, their center, has been taken off the field because of a leg injury. We'll check it, but it doesn't appear like he'll play again. Now let's send you to John Saunders.
Not far from the stadium is the Paul W. Bryant Museum, which was founded back in 1988 and was actually the brainchild of Coach Bryant himself. It was to be a place where he could recognize the athletes and support personnel that helped him get to 323 victories. Since then, it's become a place of memorabilia for over 100 years of college football on the Alabama campus. It comes complete with a replication of Coach Bryant's office, right down to the houndstooth cap. You know, guys, what they say about if the shoe fits? What about if the hat fits?
Jack Root's in the house.
Yeah, he's in the house at the
It's 3-3. Little shy of touchdowns right now, folks, but we got a little defense to talk about here with LSU, and Bama showed a little spark, though, late that half.
Yeah, they did. They started running right at him. Remember in the first quarter, they were running the options, trying to change up their style of offense. They went back to attacking him, allowing him to cut back and run. He's got 80 yards rushing right now, Riddle does. He's only 20 away from being the first 100-yard rusher for the season.
So let's take a look at first half possessions for Bama. You can see the result: the fumble, 3 punts, interception, punt, fumble, and of course the game-time field goal. As far as LSU is concerned, they had 4 consecutive punts, then they went up by 3. And then of course we had the end of the half as they were coming out, and we can take a look at the numbers here, Dick.
Well, you know, the big thing about this ball game right now is you look, Alabama is -2 in turnovers and tied. You're lucky, so your defense must be pretty good. But rush yards, LSU is not running the football, and you've got a back like Kevin Falk. He's got to find a way to get him more involved in that running attack. He's too good. My victory keys right here: get the running game going. Alabama's up to 84 yards rushing. Eliminate the quarterback sack. They have not done a good job of that. Strong special teams play, especially the coverage teams. Good job of that so far. LSU looking at their keys, get the big plays from the wide receivers. They have not done that. Force the responsibility for the winning of the game to the quarterback. They've done that. They've done that. They push the guy out, end up plus some turnovers. They are +2 right now. They should be more than tied.
Now what's key here is that Kennison is back deep with Watts kicking it off. Now there is the man. He is extremely dangerous, returning kickoffs as well as punts, and Alabama has done a very good job with their punt team. Now let's see what happens on this kickoff as to whether or not LSU can get good starting field position. Then we will check that injured center spot right away for you, because that is going to be very key here for LSU in the second half.
Especially against this talented defensive line that Alabama has. There's always a good football player lined up in your area. You have to play an inexperienced center, you're in trouble.
They have Falk back on this kickoff return team too, standing on the far 10.
For LSU to get their offense going, they've got to get the ball in the hands of the real skilled people. Otherwise, they're not going to move the football. Wow.
Forget it. 20-yard line. So now Jamie Howard will bring it out, and trotting onto the field is Todd McClure. He's a freshman out of Baton Rouge, and he apparently is going to be the center here in the second half. Howard returns as the quarterback. Carmouche was carted off, and you see McClure in there in the offensive line. LSU will sit down with 2 tight ends, and have you ever seen a tailback any deeper than that, Coach?
Not much. He's at 7.5. That gives him a chance to roll to the hole. Now he gets outside.
Bounces out beautifully to the 27. Jack Root, what's the latest on Carmouche?
Well, it's good news for Marcus Carmouche. We talked to the trainer and the doctor as they came out after half rent. What they said is he stretched his medial collateral ligament. Said no real damage that they can see. They said if need be, they'll put him back in this second half.
Oh, I kind of doubt that. That's optimistic thinking. They're trying to make the coaching staff feel good as they come back on the field.
Second down and 3 after the 7-yard burst by Falk. They come back with a talented freshman again. He swings it to the outside, and he is very close to a first down with Ralph Staten, number 41, the 200-pound junior linebacker, bringing him down.
You know, if I had a running back like Kevin Falk, I would find a way or include within my running game the ability to toss him the ball quickly and get him on the perimeter, get him outside and attack an area and let him cut back outside or cut outside out there.
So in 2 carries, Dick, he gives him 10 yards and a first down, and now they will use the backup.
He's more of an inside runner. Redshirt freshman. He's an inside guy.
There he is, Cleveland, and inside for only a couple of yards. Heavy going against this defense. Dwayne Rudd, who had some nice plays in the first half. Number 87, he had his helmet in the middle of that one again.
You mentioned Dwayne Rudd. He admires most former Alabama player Derek Thomas. Good guy to single out, right?
You bet.
He can rush the passer a bit himself.
Maybe. I had a great game with him down here, Coach, against Penn State.
Did you really? Yeah.
Might have been Derek's best. I'm sure Alabama fans remember that.
Well, we had him a couple of times in playoff games as well at Kansas City Chiefs.
2nd down and 8.
He's audibly.
Short drop, complete. They get it to Kennison, and Kennison is out to the 45. First down, Tigers.
Morris Watts, the offensive coordinator for LSU, said he tied in a quick pass audible with this running game and gave the quarterback the flexibility that anytime he came to the line of scrimmage that he didn't like what they had called, he could tie in what he called the 90 series. He'd call it out on the line of scrimmage, and that would be a quick pass. Better than a run that time.
I'm surprised the offensive coaches didn't get Kevin Falk back into the game for first down here, standing on the sideline. That was the first completed pass that didn't go into Wilson's hands. I guess this is why they incomplete, and they wanted Chris Hill, the senior tight end.
Good pressure by Kendrick Burton, the defensive end. Oh, he's rubbing the arm again, huh?
He was looking down there on that arm. Now he's got plays down there on his wrist, but he was looking more the elbow area, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. You know, coming on the campus here Thursday, Alabama coaches were talking about that they had heard that Howard's dad really didn't want him to play until he was 100% healthy because of his baseball career in the future.
And now he faces 2nd and 10, Coach. And again, he's changing up at the line based on what Bama is showing him defensively. They're coming. And Howard's got him. He's got it. Fumble! Kennison wraps it up. There is a penalty flag down on the 45-yard line by one of the linesmen. Now let's see. LSU had to pick up a blitz that time.
We have illegal formation. There was not 6 men on the line of scrimmage, 5 yards.
I wonder if they're calling Ben Bordelon, the right offensive tackle, back off the ball here. See him here a little bit, maybe too far off the ball. Did a nice job on his pass protection, but maybe he's lined up a little too deep. Here he is set there, does a nice job, gets his hands on him. He tries to go underneath him. Kendrick Burton, 94, does, and he gets a nice position and continues to pass protect well. Must be lining up just a little too far off the ball. Yeah, DiNardo can't believe that call. Either can I, to be honest with you. He was close enough if that's the guy they picked on.
Well, these youngsters watch the NFL tackles,
yeah,
their ability to pull off, and they sometimes like to set up that way. He sets up again, and this time has a little difficulty. Howard does a wonderful job of staying on his feet, going deep, and incomplete at the 18-yard line for just a moment. Bryant was there defensively on Scott Clark.
Well, the one thing you can say about Jamie Howard, he likes to compete. He's under pressure from the top of the screen. 94 Kendrick Burton flushes him, doesn't get him down. He gets up, he's scrambling to his right. He tries to make the big play. It could have been a mistake, ends up being a nothing. But he likes to compete.
LSU has been unable to convert on a 3rd down against Bama. They are 0 for 6, and now they face a 3rd and 15. They'll run Cleveland. Big hole. Short of the first down, and LSU will punt it to Bama. They ate up 4 minutes here in the 3rd quarter, and now they'll give it up.
Now we'll find out if that Bama's last field goal drive was a mirage or not. Maybe they fired him up. They got him going. They're going to come off and block people.
Number 2, deep for Alabama.
Here's Kessler, big-time punter.
Big-time guy, Brent. 13 balls over 50 yards, 3 over 60 yards.
Bama trying to get through and can't, and he rifles another one to Townsend, who lets it go. It takes a bounce on the 1-yard line. This one's going to be downed at the 5.
He's a dandy. What's this, our 11th or 12th game? He's the best punter we've seen this year.
Yeah, that one a 48-yarder. Just a big-time punter. On the LSU sideline, Howard receiving medical attention. There's no question but that he's still being bothered by the right arm, but he told one of the trainers that he still felt fine. He's 7 of 18. He'll now talk to the coaches upstairs. After the Kessler punt, Bama will take over on its own 6-yard line. Freddie Kitchens still at quarterback. Sissom is the fullback. Sissom to the 8-yard line. Jack Arute is down near the LSU bench. Jack, what's the latest on Howard?
Well, Brent, you talk about having to play hurt. That's the case for Jamie Howard. He hasn't injured his shoulder any further. It just is causing him some problems. Talking to the doctor, he said he's going to be a hurting puppy, but he's going to stay out there. What's the old cliche? Well, I don't want to use it. He's a gamer or something.
There's no question about that, is there?
He's demonstrated that he's a real competitor. I know that.
Now on 2nd and 8, and Little has suddenly come into his own. He is headed toward the first 100-yard day rushing for Bama, with Torrey James bringing him down. But it is a different Dennis Ruddle now, and Crawford, the strong safety, is shaken up, and he's receiving medical attention.
Here he is, the first 100-yard rusher of the season. 102 yards. Nice job, Dennis. But thank your right side of your offensive line for that block right there. Pete DeMero, the big right tackle, number 72. LaRon Wright, the right guard. They came off the ball, got the defense stretched, and evidently James Gilliard was involved in a block that he couldn't handle. The trainers here taking them off, John Purdy and Deanne Kohler. These people do a great job with these kids, keeping them healthy and getting them back there. Rehab work. They really know what they're doing.
How about Vanderbilt beating Kentucky today, and Arkansas wraps up the West in the SEC.
Rod Howard gets his first win at Vanderbilt.
Now on 1st down, and they come right back with the hot hand. Little to the 35, and Miller, who checked into that defensive line, number 98. One of the things when you break these two teams down that you see immediately is that Alabama has a lot more depth, especially in the defensive line. LSU's just a little bit thin, and you wonder about them holding up now. This is a tough defensive battle.
I agree with you all the way, Brent. In fact, LSU coaches say they have to work their first-string offense on the practice against their second-string defense and vice versa, because they don't have enough kids scout team-wise. Oh.
If I'm an Alabama fan, I'm saying, where's this running back been all year?
Well, he's been there. The guy that ran so well for him last week was Brian Singer against North Texas University. He ran awfully well. Stinger's gaining some confidence. The offensive line's coming up the ball. He's talking to his running back coach right there, Ivy Williams. They get it back to him deep. Again, when you block and give people room. See, and he's finding it right now. He's lowering his center of gravity. They're taking people on.
Now Alexander is the running back, and here he comes. They spread him out. You could see that Gilliard, number 7, checked back into the lineup, and he was stretching Alexander out on that play for Walker to come up from his defensive back spot for LSU.
And Gilliard's a good defensive end. I mean, he's a senior, and he's made a lot of plays behind the line of scrimmage. 15 sacks, 16 tackles for loss. He's an excellent student. Came out of a high school. He was in the honors program. Playing well. Now might be playing a little bit hurt, because as you said, Brent, they don't have a lot of guys to replace people with. Very thin on talent.
Desautels trying to hold up at the middle linebacking spot. Now Kitchens off the fake goes right to the middle, and Chad Key at the 40-yard line. Remember, Bama coming out from its own 5 with another impressive drive, but can they finish?
Homer Smith doing a real good job at changing up the run the ball well. Now that makes the play action pass off the run a lot better. It gets the ball to Chad Key, an SEC academic all-conference player, limping off the field, engaged to get married soon. In fact, his fiance's license plate, it says Love 19 on it. We just saw 19 limp off.
Doesn't want him limping to the altar, Coach.
Better not.
First down and 10 now, just inside the 40. Riddler's back in. He gets that corner again on him before Linton, the free safety, brings him down.
Offensive line is really staying with their blocks right now. Offensive line coach Danny Pearman doing a good job with those tackles. The tackles stay on blocks like that. That allows you to cut back and bounce to the outside. If your tackle gives up early on a backside block, you can't make that cut.
It's a first down at the LSU 27-yard line.
Those down defensive linemen have been in every snap.
Freddie Kitchens driving the tide again. This time, Riddle is outnumbered as he gets to the corner, and Chuck Wiley is over there to help out defensively at the bottom, number 55.
Chuck Wiley did an awfully good job. He came off the ball, exploded into the offensive guard, and knocked him back into the backfield, then worked inside out to the play. Nice stop, Chuck. Your coach is going to like that when he looks at the tape Sunday.
I heard a fellow on the radio here in Tuscaloosa yesterday say that Oklahoma State was going to play a good game against Colorado, and they're doing just that.
Are they really?
Yes, sir. They got them tied in the 4th quarter.
Is that the radio station you were listening to when you drove right past the hotel and got to Birmingham and found out you were in the wrong place?
All right. You know me. I get to listen. Second down. Sissom. Well, Coach, I got to ask you about that play. That's a little conservative down there. They were getting good yardage outside, bouncing into the corners and everything. Now they've put themselves in a perhaps pass situation. What about that?
But they've broken that play in the past inside, and when you find defensive tackles coming inside out to make plays, then you try to run up inside those defensive tackles and see if you can't pop them. Good again. Nice play by Chuck Wiley. He's playing awfully well inside that tackle position.
Patrick Hape brings the play from the sideline. It's 3rd down and 6 for Bama. Big play.
They're showing blitz up here, Brent.
Release to the 20-yard line, driven out of bounds short of the first down. That would mean it's Proctor time again as Crawford drives him out of bounds.
See, they came up in blitz. That put everybody else in man-to-man coverage. The ball is thrown. The receiver gets the ball, but good coverage by the strong safety, Talby Crawford. Sitting right on his lap makes the play. Michael Proctor, 10 games with 3 or more field goals. That's outstanding kicking.
LSU will try to get somebody off the corner. Denard Walker's down here at the left, number 24. It's a 37-yard Proctor attempt. They get there, and Proctor, no good. There was great speed coming off the right corner that time. Still tied at 3. CFA College football on ABC, brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million folks depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. And Amstel Light, a light beer for a heavy world. Proctor's 3rd field goal miss of the year. That's all. But it allowed LSU to stay tied at 3 here with 7 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter in Tuscaloosa. Sun's starting to set now, and a lot of the Tiger fans have come here. In fact, many of them on a special Amtrak train that came across from Baton Rouge.
I bet that's a wild trip.
Oh, yeah. First down and 10, and Jamie Howard's going to put it up on first down. He's going to go to Kennison against Townsend. Kennison can't get it. It was a jump ball at the 35-yard line. The field goal again, Coach.
He just shanked it. You know, for a second there, I thought maybe somebody got a piece of it. You'll see by this replay, a nice shot. He puts it down nicely, gets his hand out of there. He just pulled it right over to the left of the goalpost. And he doesn't do that very often.
Dick, it's interesting that they're throwing, and we see the graphic here on special teams, they are throwing at the junior defensive back, and they're staying away from the freshman, Bryant, pretty much, on the other side. And look who's back. Marcus Carmouche, after being carted off. Movement there in that neutral zone, and the flags come down.
Carmouche must be a tough guy, because when they took him off on the cart, I mean, he darn near had tears in his eyes. I figured there's no way he's coming back.
Well,
hey, I salute you, young man.
We have illegal movement, offensive line.
You know, sometimes you can make a mistake, though. A kid wants to play so bad, he tells the coach, hey, listen, I can play, I'm all right. And when you look at the tapes after the game, you find out he really wasn't all right. He just wanted to play badly.
Second down and 15. Boy, those nagging 5-yard penalties really hurt a team against a great defense like Bama's. And here comes Falk. Falk in the middle. Falk now dances off to the right side, out to the 28-yard line, and Jackson brings him down.
That time he got a little room to demonstrate some of his running skills. They haven't given him, Alabama that is, haven't given him much room to do it. It's a draw play. They're going to take the ball back to him deeply. Here he comes now, all just zone blocking up in front. Boom, freeze it right there. Freeze it right there. You see old Camus right there do a nice job on this block right there. He's not hurt. He's playing well. Here's old Camus. Boom, he gets the block.
Now on third, Falk trying to get to the corners. Got it. Falk to the 45, across midfield to the 45-yard line. He may have stepped out of bounds right near midfield. They're going to mark the ball over there, and suddenly Kevin Falk starting to explode.
Well, the offensive line did a good job, and the wing back to the left side, Chris Hill, 89, did a good job right over here of knocking the linebacker off the ball, and didn't whip him physically so much. It just tied him up long enough that he allowed the speed of this young man to get outside and then get upfield vertically.
Dick, we've got a story at middle linebacker. Walters is out, and that's Davis, number 55. LSU is blocking on. You know, Walters was playing with that broken hand, and Falk now exploits the right side. Davis chasing him, catches him from behind at the 46-yard line. John Saunders, how about Colorado? They were under fire today. But Oklahoma State, John, was like about a 28-point underdog or something in that game. The Cowboys have played their hearts out in that one.
Look for Obama to come up with some kind of a change, either a blitz off the corner, try to throw him for a loss. Here it comes.
Here's Cleveland, and he is pushed out of bounds by Bryant, the freshman defensive back on that side. LSU moving now.
The tight ends, hey, Mushberger and Vermeil. A route. Absolutely ridiculous. No, what's it say?
It is, let's see, put an E on there.
Yeah, here, right here.
A root is a root is a root. We still love it.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. I'll tell you, the big tight end, David LaFleur, the Alabama defensive coaches were concerned about him because he is 6'7", 280-pound tight end. He can block you when he comes off.
Big-time LSU drive right now. Kennison starts in motion. Fumble! Picked up by Bama. Rudd's got it. He's got great speed. Rudd takes off. Rudd is down to the 21. Could have been a game saver.
It was a stretch play, and the quarterback, I think, came out just a little too soon and dropped the snap. And Dwayne Rudd, as I said earlier in the broadcast, can run a 4.5 40. He can fly. And this defensive team has already scored 6 touchdowns this year. They can move the ball. See, now he'll drop it coming out right in the center of your screen. See, the ball didn't come out with him. There it is on the turf. Rudd recognizes it. He picks it up. Now he can really fly. Here's Rudd. Look, sit down. The game isn't over, buddy.
First down and 10 from the 20-yard line, and Little slams for 2 or 3 yards. Anthony McFarland is there. You know, the Bama defense, they simply say we got to do it ourselves. You know, the Crimson Tide has scored 40 points on 6 touchdowns and 2 safeties. That's how good they are. That was a 48-yard return, and it gives Bama a scoring chance against a deflated LSU team right now on 2nd and 5. This is Little coming to the right side, trying to get the crease on Walker. He's driven out at the 6-yard line. Crawford, the strong safety.
You know, a lot of times there's an insignificant block that becomes a very significant block. That time, wide receiver Marcel West, they toss the ball, he bounces outside, and Marcel West does a real nice job. He's to the right corner of your screen, right here. He does a job. He doesn't know the ball's coming out there, but he sticks and stays on the guy and prevented that corner, Denard Walker, 24, from coming up. Good job by a small 5'11" wide receiver.
Now it's 1st and goal. The ball is at the 6-yard line. Hape is in front of Little. Short drop. Incomplete. Nobody fading toward the corner. Curtis Brown had broken inside, and Kitchens expected him to break out toward the flag.
Yeah. Yes. There is Mr. Rudd.
Shout out, baby. Shout out. ABC, nigga. I got something.
2nd down and goal now, and Chad Key brings the play in, and Brown will trot back out.
They do a good job in the red zone. They just don't get her out there. That's an updated stat. They like to run the option backside of this, too.
Oh, tripped up. Penalty flag comes flying at the 9-yard line. Anthony McFarland. Is he a talented freshman? In high school, he had 26 quarterback sacks, and now you can see why. Take a look at him, folks.
He comes in. They have the point of attack blocked, and he is a wrecking machine coming from the inside out. And there was a man, an experienced player, trying to block him. Boy, I'll tell you, I really believe they must have had the defense slanting toward the tight end wing position for him to get in there like that.
And they were probably holding him and tackling him and everything else.
Yeah.
That's what the penalty is. They tackled him. He still made the stop. DiNardo saying, back him up. You saw the motion, and that ball's going to come back out now to the 19-yard line. Take a look at this. This is a freshman being tackled, and he still makes the play.
Here we have right there, 94. Came in training camp this fall at 310 pounds. They worked him down to 298.
Now 2nd down and goal, but it's from the 19-yard line. Fake by Kitchens, in trouble, and he'll go down at the 21-yard line. Gilliard, one of the defenders there.
You know, it almost looks to me that sometimes, like Kitchens that time, came off the receiver all right, but he didn't get to the 2nd receiver quick enough and started thinking about scrambling just a split second too soon. Maybe these kids have been knocked down too many times through the year. You've got to credit defensive coordinator Carl Reese with getting his kids in an adverse situation there to come in there and do what they've done so far in this series.
Now with Wiley injured, Mixon is playing defensive tackle for the Tigers. This is 3rd down for the 21. Kitchens going to flare it. He's covered. Back. Incomplete. Beautiful coverage by Gabe Northern. He went with Riddle, the flare man, and wouldn't let him have it over there. And now Proctor will have to kick the field goal. There's a defensive end for you. Watch Northern get over there on his flare man.
He not only rushes the passer, he's down right here. They swing the back. He goes like this. Hey, you're not going to throw it to that guy. See that? Look, he thinks it's a screen. I'm not going to let you throw it to him. So he turns. Kitchen does, goes downfield. They almost come up to the big one. 37-yard, 38-yarder. He's 3 for 3 from this distance this year. He doesn't miss many, this kid. On the practice field the other day, I don't think I saw him miss one field goal.
So the 38-yarder, no good.
Oh,
he's missed 2 in a row.
Woo! I don't have any record of that, but I kind of doubt there's been many times in his career that he has missed 2 in a row. And Coach Stallings says, I can't believe it.
I'll tell you, Rudd gave him a chance. They can't cash in. But a youngster by the name of McFarland is doing it all, and he's just a freshman. It's available on pay-per-view. Now, what in the world's going on over there with Kitchens on that Alabama sideline?
That must be an arm warmer. I have never seen one of those.
All I know is Bud Grant never would have allowed that.
And old Coach Stalling coached against Bud Grant many, many times, didn't he?
If you didn't think many points were going to be scored today, you were right on the button on this baby. Tied at 3, and Falk is going nowhere. Blackburn ate him up. Dick, it's the first time since '93 in the Tennessee game that Proctor has missed 2 field goals in 1 game for Alabama.
I knew it had to be a long time ago. He's the kind of kid that can come back in and hit a 50-yarder, though.
Slot to the left, and now they bring Tennyson in motion. Falk again in that direction, and almost out to the 23-yard line. Cedric Samuel, the free safety, number 13, getting a hold of him.
Ben Bordelon, right tackle, number 68, coming off the ball real well. They got it stretched over there. They ran outside him and inside the tight end. Those 2 tight end formations sort of balance and stabilize that defensive front because you have running strength both directions, to your right and to your left, with those 2 tight ends.
If LSU doesn't get a first down here, it really hurts their defense. They have not had much of a rest.
They have to get right back in play, and like you say, they've got to be wearing down.
3rd down. They have yet to convert a 3rd down. 0 for 8. They got one. They get it to Big and Dave LaFleur, the tight end.
The ball ended up on the turf, but Bama ended up with it. This guy is 6'7", 280 pounds, and he can move. Now, he's been banged up. Here he is. He comes off and comes inside. Jamie Howard finds him in the coverage. Does a good job. He gets up inside. He gets off the linebacker, Rudd 87. See, a linebacker will always be, when they go too deep like that with 2 safeties, a linebacker has to cover him initially.
He really shed Rudd that time.
Oh, yeah, he's so big and strong.
Their first 3rd down conversion out to the 41-yard line. Deep handoff to Falk. Didn't have much of a chance to get any place that time, and Rudd more than makes up for it with Parker.
That was a great defensive lineman play that time, coming down from the backside. You called his name, Matt Parker, the senior out of Lawton, Oklahoma, junior college transfer guy. He really came down from the backside. These kids really impressed me with the intensity and the fundamental techniques that the kids play in that front defensive 7. But very, very well coached. There's another well-coached guy, Gene Stallings.
2nd down and 10.
Blitz, strong safety.
And they get it to Hill, this time Chris Hill. Staten making the stop. So that's a first down. They cross midfield. John Saunders, what about Michigan? An interesting matchup between the Wolverines and the Spartans. Here it is 1st and 10. We're tied at 3. LSU has crossed midfield with another first down. Falk squeezes into that crease, crosses the 45, and Blackburn is there again.
For 4 yards.
So we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter. Alabama 3, LSU 3, and we'll have more after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Job. They're just not scoring enough points. That's not all his fault.
Speaking of not enough points, it's a very interesting defensive battle here in the SEC. LSU and Bama, final 15 minutes. This is LSU with 2nd down and 6, starting the final 15 minutes. Their talented freshman running back, Falk, barges to the 39, and Mr. Blackburn is there to meet him again, short of the first down.
You see what the defensive front is doing now, Bill Oliver. They've been hurt outside, so right prior to the snap, they're sliding the defense to the running strength of the formation. Good thing they had the counter called that time going backside, or they might have been thrown for a loss trying to get outside.
Dick, on third down, would you be tempted to find that big LaFleur again?
You bet I would, or I would be tempted of the draw play out of this one-back attack, as active as those defensive linemen are inside.
Now on third down, Bama pressing at the line.
He's audibling.
Here they come, and they've got him outnumbered. Oh, somehow he got it back and outside. What a dandy-looking little run.
There he really demonstrates run. That should be a nothing play. Defensive linemen can't play that any better. They got great penetration. The defensive lineman knocked the people back here. He gets here. He had a bow back, and he makes the first down. Excellent running. Good speed.
Dick, I think he is just a few inches short. Yes, Jimmy Harper is signaling he missed it by just a couple of inches.
I think you take a chance and go for it.
Oh, I
Doesn't
think
he
they are.
demonstrate some running ability here, Brent? That defense did a great job of annihilating it.
Here comes Big McFarland.
Hey, get him the ball.
Here he comes. 94 lumbers into that backfield. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. He'll lead you to the action. Here he comes. All right, let's
get him
go.
lined up.
Offset him to the right. Oh, the quarterback kept it and surprised everybody.
And me. I'm disappointed.
Me too. I want to see him carry it.
Look at McFarland. He can barely get in his stance.
You can't use me as a decoy. If you're going to bring me that far off the bench, man, I got to do something.
Yeah, you bring me 30 yards from the sideline all the way into the middle of the field, and you run a quarterback sneak.
Oh, I got to make him the biggest thing in Baton Rouge since, well, my buddy Billy Cannon. I mean, here he is, folks.
Oh, my gosh. He says, this is not worth the effort. You're going to bring me in here? Let me hit somebody. Now, though, he has one other thing to go in his bio. He is a decoy. A big decoy.
Yeah, now he's saying they wouldn't have to measure if they'd have put me up there.
He made it, but I'll tell you.
They didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
Oh, they didn't get it.
Oh, my God.
Woo!
2 inches. Gene says, that's what I coach you to do.
Yeah.
Nardaro says, I can't believe it. He scratches his head. This guy is a good football coach. There's some fire in his belly. Man, I thought he made it. He might have gotten a Bama spot.
All I can say is,
You say it.
McFarland should have been. Okay. All right, first down now for Bama. 14 minutes to go. Fourth quarter. Coming out from the 37-yard line. Little hit behind the line of scrimmage. Strong defensive play by Stansberry. John Saunders, how about the Wildcats? What's happening, Park? Thank you, John. What an amazing story. And it just continues now. Kitchens.
Boy, does he throw a dart?
Yeah, but I tell you, that was strong defense by Torrey James down there. I mean, James climbed all over him. And let's go to Jackaroo. Jack.
Well, Brent, I've done some investigating. Got one of those warmers you were talking about. They're actually made right here in Alabama. Instead of putting a coat on, Freddie Kitchens just puts this on. When you got a hot arm, you better wrap that rascal.
Put it over your head, will you, Jack?
Something else to put advertising on, no doubt.
Here's a change-up defensive front. 3 down line.
3rd and 12. No. Through the hands of Linton, the free safety. Woo.
That away, Jack.
It doubles at Christmas time.
Keep your ears warm down there, big boy. That Kitchens really has a strong arm.
Now Stockton into punt. And there he is, Mr. Eddie Kinnison back deep. Hasn't done anything yet. Bama's kept it away from him. They've angled their punts. Low snap. Well done. Kinnison on the move. Fumble! Bama pounces. But there's a penalty flag down. Hold it now.
I don't think they gave him room to field the ball, but it almost looked like somebody blocked the defender into the return man.
There's no flag.
Okay.
Defensive man coming downfield was pushed into the 2-yard zone. No
That's
penalty.
what I thought. No penalty.
First down.
LSU recovered this, and are they ever fortunate?
Okay. Here he is. Well, yeah, the defender was blocked into him.
I still don't see how Bama didn't recover the ball. Watch how close this is, and if you're a Bama fan, this will be pure agony. Johnson coming right in, has got a shot, number 5, at that ball. He jumps, and it gets free, and it is recovered by LSU. Moon over Tuscaloosa, and Jamie Howard fires sideline. Townsend's got it. Townsend out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Excellent, excellent play. Deshae Townsend. Boy, I'll tell you, this secondary is really, really well coached. Bill Oliver, the coordinator, coaches them to get play action, so that eliminates any underneath coverage. It's you and me, one-on-one out there. They're trying to throw the deep out and come back. The ball is thrown well on time, but Deshae Townsend just comes in and picks it off. And this is one of the few times the interception hasn't been returned for a touchdown. Like we said a number of times, they've already scored 6 times this year, that defensive team has.
The defense gives Bama another shot. The ball is at the LSU 22. Are the Tigers up for it again? Timeout as the clock was running down toward 2 seconds. They had to get it stopped. Bama uses a timeout. 2 left. 13 minutes to go. And this one is a thing of beauty.
It really is. You just can't cover it any better. I mean, that's a hard route to cover. You know, he's a good, skilled receiver. We saw him catch 6 balls in the first half there. He pushes them deep. They move back in there. Good coverage. Here's defensive coordinator Bill Oliver, coaches the secondary as well, doing a great job.
Now Riddle cuts back to the middle and barges for 5 yards.
Riddle cuts back to the middle.
John Saunders. Touchdown, Timmy. 3-3. 12:36 now. West, the motion man. The toss is from Riddle. Barges and is stopped at the 15 by Desautel. Robert Desautel, who's quite a story, actually. You folks back in Baton Rouge, you know that this young man is lucky to be playing anything at all after that serious automobile accident. Missed an entire season of football. Is back playing. Now Proctor, he has to be wondering if he'll get a 3rd chance. He has missed 2 in a row here. And we'll come down now with 3rd and 3 against the Tiger defense. Malone, the big play wide receiver. They bring it into Rao with fullback Sissom off the wing, and Sissom barges with a penalty flag to the 8-yard line.
That's a risky call with 3rd and 3. You have to make sure you don't get any penetration, but it's a gutsy call as well, because you get that flow of the back one way and give the ball back the other way. Hard to defense. That one way to defense is get penetration. They didn't allow it. Who's the flag on here?
The way LSU was celebrating down there, this one has come back.
My experience in coaching has been when a play hits slow coming back to that side, it's usually the blocker at the point of attack that ends up grabbing and hanging on. I would say here on the right-hand side, someone grabs and hangs on. He gets a nice hole. And I believe they call that on Tony Johnson, the tight end.
So the holding penalty brings the ball back to the 18-yard line, and now got a whistle down on the field, and LSU has called timeout. The defense has called a timeout. We'll show you this holding right here, which will make this 3rd and 6 as a result of the penalty.
You know, with the use of the hands as they are today and extended like that, that's a legal block. He did not have jersey in his hand. It looked that way to me anyway, that shot.
Well, regardless now, Dick, it is a 3rd and 6. This is a big-time call. Bama obviously doesn't want to make a mistake, even though Proctor's in a slump. You would have to favor him with the field goal. Certainly the touchdown's first priority, but they do not want to put themselves in a high-risk situation here.
No way. They don't want to do anything where they take a sack. He's missed 2 field goals. Short distance for him. Don't make it any further by taking a sack. Get the call. Maybe just a little quick type, the slant in or the quick out or something like, or the change-up trap up inside against those defensive tackles. Gene Stallings participating in the call with Homer Smith up in the press box. These are tough time calls, and Gene Stallings has made a lot of them for you. He wins 2 more games. He'll have averaged 10 wins a season since he's been here. Only a couple schools in NCAA Division I have done that.
Wiley is back at defensive tackle. Here they come. Kitchens rolling out to the right now. Northern gives pursuit. Tried to knock the ball free as he pushed him out of bounds. But the quarterback, Kitchens, on the roll, has given him a 1st and goal for Bama.
No defensive contain. A quarterback should not be able to get out there. You'll see they should have somebody in his face. He doesn't get there. He gets blocked by 38. Hape does a really nice job of actually hooking him. Give the credit to Patrick Hape.
Now Riddle is lined up. Got the handoff behind Sissoms. Tries to cut outside. Battles toward the 3-yard line. And it'll be 2nd and goal with Pat Rogers getting credit for the stop.
Kitchens does a good job of handing off, faking, carrying out the discipline of the offensive play. Sometimes the quarterback, he gets excited, he hands off, he wants to look back and see if he scored. He carries out his fakes real well. He might want to come out backside and keep it on a bootleg. There was nobody defending him.
Riddle today has exploded for 154 yards, but Bama still looking for its first touchdown. Game is tied at 3 in the 4th quarter. Riddle bounces, penalty flag. He stopped at the 4, but there's a penalty flag.
When you line up 2 big tight ends over there at that wing position.
Well, the defensive team lined up in the neutral zone, half the distance of the penalty, keep it down.
You got the 2 big tight ends in the wing positions. It gives you a lot of power blocking. See, these 2 guys right here can handle it, and they pull a guard to the outside. Inside-out pursuit, though, prevented the play from getting in the end zone, but they really wiped out the corner. They really wiped out the corner that time, and they had Jeremy Pennington, 79, out leading it.
Walker is injured, and Twilley checks in at that corner. Making the stop was Walker. He's injured. He's out of the game. Riddle is here now. Here's the pitch. He'll walk in. Touchdown, Bama.
You can see by the way that Freddie Kitchens pitched that option. He's not a big option quarterback. You don't see many guys flip him out with both hands like that. Normally they flip it with the far hand, the left hand or the right hand, depending on the direction. Good change-up call right there by Homer Smith.
Alabama converts after the interception. And Proctor makes it a 7-point lead. 10:25 to go, and LSU down by a touchdown. CFA College Football on ABC, brought to you by MetLife. Get Met, it pays. U.S. Navy, you and the Navy, full speed ahead. Chili's Grill and Bar. Chili's grills like no place else. And Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Bama 10, LSU 3, 10:25 remaining, and Riddle Bounces in for the score from 2 yards out.
Hey, I can't be back here, okay? Then they call trouble.
Be careful where you kick it.
Kennison at the 7. And Davis whacks him at the 28-yard line. Jackaroo.
Well, Brent, I've seen something for the first time, a guy having the wherewithal and a drive in the red zone. Now, each team is allowed to have their own balls out there, and what Freddie Kitchens did is this specific ball, after he used it one time, he ran over to the ball boy, he said, get it out of the game, it's too slippery. They took it, threw it out of the game, the ball boy ran back in, gave a ball with a little better grip, they used it the next 2 plays.
He's conning them. He just wants to have that football gold-plated.
First down and 10 for LSU. Jamie Howard comes back to LaFleur, the tight end, at the 32-yard line, and Kevin Jackson, the strong safety, will be assigned the tight end, and Jackson is shaken up. This is a big loss, and Jamie Howard has been playing in a great deal of pain, trying to hang in, but he's down, and that pain is excruciating right now.
He took a shot on that one. You can only take so many, especially, Brent, as you said, he's been hanging in there. He's a little bit banged up. He takes a pop, pow, right there. He ends up down on that shoulder again. Darrell Blackburn, 44, got the heat on him. You can only be knocked down so many times. Now, Herbert Tyler played well last week. He's very mobile. He came in early in the game and ran a quarterback draw. He threw the ball well. 19 for 26 last week. Not against this kind of defense, but he threw the ball well. Well, this is the best defense we've seen. Alabama defense is the best I've seen this year. They can play pass defense. That's why they're in the top of the country, statistically. There's a team that can play offense, Florida. Tennessee can't be too bad, huh?
Good football team.
Danny Ford's got him going.
So that was a costly play. On one side, the strong safety is out, and on the other, the quarterback limps off. So now the freshman, Tyler, more of a run quarterback. Remember, he ran the quarterback draw when he was in earlier. 2nd down and 7, under enormous pressure in Tuscaloosa. He uses Falk, and a great stop by Short, who came up from that defensive back spot, having just checked into the game, and Short took care of Mr. Falk.
These safeties are extremely well coached. They're reading the tight end, and when the tight end blocks, the ball's handed off. They're coming up the field, and they're coursed to the ball. They're angled to the ball. It's actually 23 right here, inside out on the play. Nice job. See him tracking, balance, track, bang, hit. Good job.
That's 3rd down and 8 now for Tyler, who puts it up softly, but behind the receiver, incomplete.
Yeah, he should have hit that one. My gosh, he says, look at, he says, listen, that's my fault. I'm sorry. He, too, is a true freshman.
So it's 4th down, and Chad Kessler trots onto the field to punt.
Averaging 44.9 coming in, Brent. 38-1 net. Can't do it much better than that. And they've been, good hang time punts, too. Not a good one.
Townsend on the run. Townsend out of bounds at the 46, so he's contributing. Remember, it was his interception that sent up the touchdown, and now he has returned it near midfield with a penalty flag down at the 50.
During the run back, we have a block in the back, a 10-yard penalty, and a spot of foul.
What did the coach say? Bull who? Right on the 50-yard line, right side of your screen. Bang, right there. That was the block behind the back.
Freddie Kitchens, who engineered the go-ahead drive after the Townsend interception, gave Bama great attacking position. Desertel at middle linebacker for the Tigers. Little, who has been the main man here today behind the left side of the Bama offense, and Gabe Northern, number 88, stands tall.
As well as Anthony McFarland.
Well, tomorrow at 1 Eastern, Ben Crenshaw, International. Now here's the handoff, and Little to the 40-yard line with McFarland tripping him up.
They had a hole. McFarland is down on his belly and scrambles back underneath and grabs him by the foot. What great presence of mind this guy is. And he sort of nods and says, nothing to it.
So Michigan State gets up on Michigan. What a day this could be for Northwestern.
You bet.
If Michigan drops out of that chase for the Rose Bowl. Now it is 3rd and 6. Bama working on the clock. 7.5 minutes. And they put the ball in the hands of Curtis Brown. And Curtis has a first down in LSU territory.
Curtis caught that little hook pass, and he didn't tuck the ball away right away. Swinging it out their way. And early in the first quarter, first half, he dropped the ball or had one knocked out like that. He's got to learn to catch it and tuck it away right away.
First down at the LSU 45. The Bama offense has shown more life with Kitchens at quarterback. Penalty flag down again.
Flag is down.
I'll tell you, the number of after a while, as a head coach, going through the experiences Gene has gone through this year, Stallings, you know, with the incident there in Arkansas.
Offensive back, 5 yards.
I didn't see the movement. You start thinking, my gosh, they're picking on me. 7 penalties, pretty well balanced. But Arkansas game was very controversial plays called there. The officiating staff was suspended. I don't know for how long. Couldn't officiate the next week. 1 week, right, Brent? Then you've got to start thinking, I wonder if those guys are trying to get even.
Sissom. That's a play that worked well for him earlier in the game, and he is taken down.
Yeah, the good defense. He didn't get deep enough, Brent.
Well, this is an O-line big-time referee down there, Mr. Jimmy Harper, out of Georgia. And before the game, I went down. I said, Coach, you had any of those celebrations here in the SEC? How's it been? He said, well, I was talking to Coach, and I tell the coach, he said, now listen, if any of those good young men here wants to pray after a touchdown down the end zone, tell them to make sure that they tie their shoelace before they get back up.
No foul.
He's a dandy, one of the best in the country, Mr. Jimmy Harper. Second down and 20 now. LSU backs out of the blitz. Kitchens fires incomplete, and Walker was saying, how come I didn't get a shot at it?
He's just inches off to the inside, and Curtis Brown goes, hey, listen, I think I was interfered with. Curtis Brown's uncle is Charlie Brown, the old great Washington Redskin football player.
Coach, I was distracted there for a moment. What'd you say?
Huh?
What'd you say? I was distracted by Bill Webb's pictures.
Oh, really? I said, you've been on the road too long.
Oh, my. Third down and 20. It's times like this that I hate pay-per-view. Third down and 20 now. Kitchens hit as he releases. Jump ball. Walker doesn't see it. Intercepted by Linton. There's a flag down, and this ball is picked off by Linton, but let's get it sorted out. Walker and the receiver on the far side were bumping, and the ball was thrown up in the air because he was hit as he released it. But hold on, everybody.
When you're leading by 7 points, don't do anything foolish with the football. Take the sack, throw the ball in the turf, whatever, but don't throw it up for grabs.
Now, was this ball catchable? The ball was deflected. I think DiNardo's absolutely right that the arm at least was hit on the release when it was thrown up. There was bumping on that far sideline. There's no question about that. But the ball was thrown because it was deflected, or at least the arm was deflected. The ball went up in the air, and now they're sorting it out.
There's no pass interference in the ball being deflected.
There's no penalty.
Yeah, good job.
The question was whether the ball had been tipped or not. It was ruled that it was tipped. First down.
See the release of the ball right there. There's tip coming off the hand.
That was Chuck Wiley who was able to get in on it defensively. Chuck Wiley was able to get it. Now Linton, sitting there in center field, picks it off. Now the ball's coming out from the 42-yard line. Gene still doesn't understand. And Howard, Myers is in. They use Kinnison on the end around. And Townsend stays at home and wrestles him down at the 45-yard line.
Very, very good defensive discipline. Everybody maintaining the responsibility of the defense. Everything, all plays like that are defense, and it's built in the defense. You do what you're supposed to do. You try something like that, should be minus yardage. Good job. You actually had a chance because they got a block to the right side of your screen. You'll see a nice block out here. There's the block right there, knockdown. But the defense just tracking them down. And again, it's Townsend coming up with a big play.
Now it's 2nd down and 7. Bama presses. They know they've got a running quarterback. They hit Tyler, and he gets it off to Hill. Hill is crushed. That was Cedric Samuel who was on him at midfield.
And that's Chris Hill. He's been banged up. He missed the last 3 games with a groin injury. He really got nailed.
Bent backwards there.
Plus the cleats were planted in the ground. See there? Ooh. Yeah. See, when your cleats are in the turf like that, that's not good. Chris Hill has had bad luck this year. He's had a wrist injury, a thumb injury.
Well, there is a big-time win for the Wildcats. 21-10 over Penn State. Now, Gene Stallings here. And, of course, everyone holding their breath, hoping that the young man from LSU is going to be all right. I cannot say enough about how tough this game has been on both sides of the ball. I mean, they have been helmet racking all afternoon in this contest. This is an SEC. And a word from Coach DiNardo's bench is that Howard is gone for the day. He's finished, so they've got the freshman quarterback Tyler in here now, has to run the offense. And you know Bama is going to press. Gene Stallings and the defensive coaches are talking about it right now. They are not going to let Tyler have much breathing room. We'll come back now with 5 minutes to play. Well, we certainly hope that Chris Hill is going to be all right. He took a nasty shot. His leg locked up here on the natural grass. And it could have been a knee. Could have been a fracture. We're not going to speculate on it. He's being helped off. There'll be a nice round of applause here in Tuscaloosa. The young man right now is in a great deal of pain, I'm sure. And the medical staff will tend to him.
One of 3 brothers playing on this football team today. And the other problem they have is their number 2 tight end, Nicky Savoy, was left home for disciplinary reasons. So they're really short at that position now.
But don't read a whole lot into that. That's DiNardo just bearing down. You miss a practice when you're supposed to be there.
Hey, you miss a week. You miss a week. He's setting his standards and setting them real tough, and he'll develop a good program because
I've got a great anecdote to tell you about that in a minute. It is 3rd down now and 3 for the freshman quarterback. Look at the defensive lineman push, and now one of the offensive linemen bolts across. Mark King came up out of his stance. He's claiming the defensive man was in the neutral zone.
Before the ball is snapped, we have an offensive movement in
So the first report from the side, it was his knee that was blown out on that play. Now, I want to tell you about DiNardo. He gets the job, okay? So some of the players, some of the a little upset, a little unhappy because the disciplinary approach they heard about. They had a meeting, you can't have a meeting. First kid he spots is a kid who transferred from Vanderbilt. He says, "Oh, it's your worst nightmare, isn't it?" As he walked into the room. And that kind of like light.
You thought you got away from me, huh?
Exactly.
I'll get your rear end. I'll make a player out of you.
Yeah. Going to be tough going now with the freshman. Carmouche has had to leave the game. He's out.
Before the ball is snapped, we have movement, offensive line.
Different quarterback, different cadence, new center, all of those things ganging up on LSU right now. Not to mention as tough a defense as Dick Vermeil has seen this year.
They can really move. There isn't a guy on the field that can't run. The big guy can run. You know, they're extremely well coached. When you watch them practice like we were able to do on Thursday, you know why they play so well on Saturday.
So that brings up the 4th down. And if time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Carvino postgame report. We'll have scores and highlights.
Gary Barnett has just done a spectacular job at Northwestern. You alums ought to chip in some money out of the deep in your pocket and make sure you can't get out of there.
I got an anecdote about that for you, too. Get your hand out of my pocket, Coach.
No money, but an anecdote. You guys, no wonder it took them so long to win.
And here's Townsend. He's had a big-time game.
Good football player.
It was his interception that set up the go-ahead touchdown for Alabama. Northwestern, okay, they go into South Bend, 17-15, okay? The next week, we got a letter soliciting donations, and we each got a T-shirt at the front page of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Yeah, what you do, send them 20 bucks, huh?
I sent him back an autographed picture. No, I kidding you. Well, Alabama discovered a quarterback today, didn't they, folks? And a running back to go along with it. But I want to say one thing, and we got 350, so this baby is not over. But I am very impressed with the heart and determination shown by LSU here today.
Oh, yeah.
They were outgunned by Alabama, no question about it.
More depth.
Yeah.
Jerry DiNardo's staff really did a good job. Carl Reese had that defensive team playing as hard as they could. And gee, the same down 4 played every snap. You've got to be in a condition to do that and play hard.
You know, it's going to be tough on LSU next week. You come out of a hard game like this, several injuries, and Gilliard is down now again. Sometimes it's tough, Coach, to get enough healthy personnel.
Yeah, just to practice it makes it tough. But I think this man will build a real solid, ethical football program, and you know this, his kids will be tough, and there's a guy that's already done it for a long time. I had the opportunity to coach against Gene Stallings, and he was coaching the Dallas Cowboys. I coached against him for 7 years, and you really gained a lot of respect for him. Really a fine football coach. Hey, Coach, don't be so mad you're winning. I know it's not over, but I really enjoy this guy. I really respect him, and I think a lot of people do. Here's the total yards here. Rushing LSU. You know, LSU at halftime only had 17 yards, so they picked it up in the second half. But Alabama finally got that running game going. They came in averaging 121 yards. Here they are at 180. And I think if Freddie Kitchens ends up being their starting quarterback, it's defined. They'll get him going, and he'll get better quickly. They can't afford to lose this guy, James Gilliard. Really a senior out of Shreveport. He was an outside linebacker originally. He just grew into that down lineman position. Went to Woodlawn High School. He's a Parade All-American. He has all the credentials and probably will end up being an NFL candidate.
Well, Coach, second down and 10. Alabama 10, LSU 3. 3:24 to go.
As good as your defense is playing, you don't take any chances. They're overshifted to the tight end side. Good call.
And Riddle gets a block from West. And Riddle to the 43. And now tempers flare just a bit. Stansbury is upset.
You know, the defense overshifted to the wide field, and they ran back to the short field. The more defensive guys to the left of the formation. See, they're over here. So they get a good block right here, and he bounces outside. Nice job. Good call by Homer Smith. Again, another real good block by Patrick Haight, number 38. They have 3 real good tight ends here.
Inside of 3 minutes. LSU needs the ball in a hurry. Each team with 2 timeouts left. Ball at the 42-yard line, and Riddle is hit.
The ball loose,
and it came out, I think, for a fraction of a second. Let's see. And they're pointing that Bama's regained possession.
You know, as a coach, Brent, I just could never realize why a running back would fumble the football when you're leading by 7 points with just minutes to go. You would think the only thing he would think about was, I'm going to protect that football. I don't care how many yards I'm making. Protect the football at all costs.
What was it, Frank Leahy used to make the Irish carry the ball to class the next day on Monday if they fumbled?
Hey, I fumbled one time in high school. That's the only time I ever fumbled. But no, and my high school coach made me carry the football all around school that week. You know, and I felt so, I was pretty stupid anyway, but I walked around, I felt so stupid. You know, 130 kids in the whole school, everybody knew you. And they say, Dick, what are you doing with that football yet? Well, didn't you see me play last week? I fumbled. Coach says I got to carry this football.
Vanderbilt with a win.
That's their first one.
Non-conference, and I got another little anecdote. Let's say, for example, that Nebraska somehow stumbles at the hands of, I guess they got to play Kansas and Oklahoma. Let's say that Florida loses to Florida State and Tennessee moves to second and third. They can't win the SEC. They can't get to the championship game, but they can't play for the title. I think they should just give the award to Miami of Ohio and forget about it. Only team to beat Northwestern, that's it, Coach. Here's Riddle. He takes a good crack and keeps on coming.
You know, and watching these kids dressed in red, watch them practice on the practice field. They really work with a real tempo. I mean, it's a very intense tempo, not full contact, but darn close.
Well, Michigan's still losing. And, of course, the big one's Florida State having lost Thursday. I can feel that November air, Coach.
Yeah, I can feel it, too.
Oh, it's fun coming down here, isn't it?
First time I've ever had the opportunity to present a game here in Tuscaloosa. And I've been down here and then moved on to Birmingham where the game was played. But this is really a football atmosphere city, and it's obvious it is. But, you know, the one thing I really recognize, like Jack Arute talked about earlier, that their enthusiasm for football has been dampened a little bit with the restrictions and the problem. They have a lot of pride, these people do, and they don't believe they cheat. They just believe they play well, and I don't believe that the crime was anywhere close to the penalty. I mean, the penalty was too great, believe me.
I think they have an appeal, we were told,
coming up,
still pending.
Yeah.
Now, this team could still wind up. I guess they were talking about the Outback Bowl in Tampa this year. They could play a Michigan if it's lifted. And this is Alexander, who slams across midfield.
LSU doesn't have any timeouts left, so they can't stop the clock. First down. With the opponent having no timeouts, the offensive team can run 1 minute and 40 seconds off just flopping on. Don't have to snap the ball, and they're almost close to that right now.
Alexander to the 41, and Crawford.
Curtis Alexander is a guy they have great expectations for, but they've just never been able to keep him healthy long enough to find out if he can play.
Seven and 2 be the record. They were beaten by 1 point by Arkansas, and they were slammed by Tennessee.
And they cannot get over being beaten by Tennessee in this area. First person you saw last night that recognized it started talking about it, right? Oh, that Tennessee.
That doesn't go down well here,
No.
Coach, especially that score. That's Alexander again working on the
Good
clock.
tackle.
That was Crawford. He's played well.
Yes, he has.
A lot of players have played well for LSU.
Oh, they had to. Yeah, he's a senior out of Orlando, Florida. Junior college transfer. Right now, they can just flop on. They don't have to snap it, run a play.
Alexander.
He didn't want to run out of bounds.
Curtis Alexander is left in a gain of 3.
So Alabama beats LSU 10-3.
Win 59 for this man. One more and he'll average 10 wins a season for 6 years.
And our genuine Chevrolet players of the game for LSU is Anthony McFarland. For Alabama, Dennis Riddle. And Chevrolet donates $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Bama rolls 10-3 over the Tigers.